Hello, Dreamy Pisces. I know. Save the best for last, right? Ta-da, Pisces. I know so many people were like, what about Pisces? I'm not patient. I don't wait till the very end. Yes, but I hope it was worth it. Here is the Pisces. So the Pisces, I love that Pisces, the stones and the crystals were blues. I was so excited to see like we can do something like super watery and dreamy and beautiful. I was so excited about it. So the stones and the crystals that are going to be in the Pisces piece are labradorite, opalite, we've got amazonite, blue apatite, sodalite, and blue goldstone. I'll show you here too. So we've got labradorite, opalite, amazonite, apatite, sodalite, lots of ites, and blue goldstone. I wish you could see the blue goldstone in person because it sparkles, and when it catches the sunlight is going to be amazing. So this is our beautiful watery Pisces. So our Pisces are a water sign, and they bring us back to the mutable signs. So we've been talking about what are the cardinal signs, the fixed and the mutables, and Pisces is the last of the mutable signs. And remember that the mutable ones are the adapters. They're the ones that come in and they say, this is the big thing that's been moving forward or brought into the world. This is how it's been sustained, and now we're here to move it around, right? So we have Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius. Those are all three mutable. And then finally we have Pisces, the water version of the mutable. So with this adaptability and this transition and refinement and change, they do this emotionally and spiritually. So they are deeply intuitive and deeply empathetic. So they come in and they say, is this working for the collective? How does this feel for everybody? Is this in alignment with everybody? And is everybody on board with this? And as you know, that's not always the truth. That's not always the case. All right, so they are a water sign. Pisces season is February 19th through March 20th. They round out the zodiac calendar, and so then they bring the change of the season. Sorry, a bunny just ran by. They bring the change of the season, and that brings us back into Aries, another cardinal sign. So Pisces, they're very dreamy, as I was saying, intuitive, empathetic, artistic. Some of my favorite Pisces are artists, right? And just amazing artists. They're spiritual, they're very compassionate and imaginative. So I have another Pisces girlfriend who she is a lawyer. I'm going to say it, you know, I'm talking about you. And so she has a lot of that analytical aspect of it and a lot of the knowledge and the very structured base of what she does, but she specializes in the emotional side of things, right? I'm like, what is it called again? Estate law, right? And so she's very compassionate and empathetic and attuned to the people that she is working with and serving. And you'll find that with a lot of our Pisces. So when Pisces is showing up in your sun sign, the sun is when you show up in this world or how you show up, your identity is deeply sensitive and deeply spiritual. Just saw an order come through. Thank you. Very spiritual. They're often idealistic, imaginative, and attuned to the emotional and unseen realms. So if you're with a Pisces, this Pisces is going to really tune into and be aware of, you know, what are your needs? What are your emotional, how is your emotional well-being? They're very compassionate, very empathetic, and wonderful to seek support from as well. They're very great supporters. When the Pisces shows up in your moon sign, so if this is Pisces in your emotional world, in your internal world, again, still very dreamy, very empathetic. It's those deep waters of Pisces. These Pisces individuals, they absorb energy and they feel the world around them deeply. So when a Pisces is experiencing the world around them deeply, that can be very difficult, especially when the world is awry, right? If things are going on in the world that are troublesome, are hard to digest, the Pisces are going to feel it very, very deeply, not only for themselves, but for the collective, when that's the Pisces moon and when you have Pisces in your sun. Now, when Pisces shows up as your rising sign, so the rising sign is the seat of your soul or your essence, right? So your rising sign, you're going to come across as very mystical, Very mysterious. Not as mysterious as the Aquarians, but that could just be me being like, I can't figure out you Aquarians. But they're going to be mystical. They're very gentle and oftentimes very artistic and creative in their endeavors, and creative and artistic in just the way they show up in the world. So when you have Pisces as your rising sign, again, there's often a softness or an otherworldly quality to their presence. So when you're around them, you're pulled out of your logic mind and brought into your emotional body. Let's see, so much of the feels. Yeah, woo! I see that Pisces, Cancer. That's a lot of feels. That's a lot of water. I have a son who's a double Scorpio. He's Scorpio sun, Scorpio moon, and there's a lot of feels. And my other son is also a Scorpio. A lot of feels. So yes, Pisces showing up as that watery, otherworldly. When you think of water, you can think of like the deep oceans. So a lot of the unknown and the dreamy aspect of things. So the planet, because we've been talking about the planets, because in this collection, the planets highly influenced the way that I designed this round of the Zodiac collection. So before it was designed about when I learned about the different personality traits and what stones I thought would be supportive for balance in those personality traits, these are going by the frequency of your ruling planet. So these match 100% in frequency and vibration to the ruling planets of each of the signs. And this is that Pisces. It's so perfect that the blue is lined up. I just am so happy about it. And the ruling planet, the modern one, is Neptune. On a more traditional aspect, it's going to be Jupiter. But let's talk a little bit about Neptune first. So Neptune is the planet of dreams and intuition and mysticism. That's where we're going to, an illusion, and that's deep spiritual connection. So that's where these Pisces are going to be getting a lot of their influences from. I'm so glad you like it. I'm so glad you like the bracelet. I'm reading some of the comments here. That's where a lot of that deep mysticism and that creativity, that artistic, that the intuition and bringing what's underneath to the surface so that we can all appreciate it and feel it rather than just know it, right? And how is this influencing those Pisces? Neptune enhances Pisces' deep imagination, like I was saying, that creativity, their spiritual insight, and their emotional sensitivity. So if you're having some issues, go to your Pisces. They're going to help you. Your Pisces, your Virgos, we're going to come in and we're going to help support you, right? And then also it helps them dissolve the boundaries between themselves and others. And that's where that empathy comes in. So a lot of times we can tend to other people, this is me, this is you, setting strong boundaries, which is beautiful and also needed. And when we can dissolve some of those boundaries, not boundaries, it's good to have our healthy boundaries, but when we can dissolve some of those blockages or those walls, then we can connect on that deeper level. And Pisces has a knack for doing that. Now, when we talk about Jupiter being connected to Pisces, this is a sense of faith and wisdom and this expansive compassion. So remember, Jupiter brings in the ideas of abundance and opportunity and optimism. So that's where they're going to get sort of this this wonder for the world that we live in, right? And those are our Pisces. So thank you for joining me for Pisces. Here it is, the long-awaited. You waited 12 days. Thank you for being here so much. And then there is no clasp. These are stretch elastic bracelets. They're very strong. We guarantee everything. I have people who say, I wear it every single day. I never take it off. And then this is the charm. It's kind of hard to see. Let me see if I back up a little. There's the charm. Oh, there we go. That worked. Let's try it over here. And here's the charm. Yeah, so it has your little design on there. That was kind of the catalyst of redesigning this collection, was because my charm manufacturer went out of business and I couldn't get the Zodiac charms. But I had already had this stirring of, it needs to be refreshed. It needs to be new. I love and I appreciate and I thank the previous collection and everyone supporting that. And now I'm excited for this fresh energy. We're coming out of eclipse season. This is beautiful, fresh energy, and I'm just so excited. Thank you for being here. Tomorrow, I am going to go live one more time. I am going to talk about supporting your sun, moon, and rising, and why you would choose to wear your sun, moon, rising stack, all three of them, and how that can be beneficial and how that's different from just wearing one versus the other. Thanks for being here. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.